Let's get started on your ultimate sewing box instructions. Some of these tools will be included, others you will have to provide yourself. Note that there are 3 different kinds of hinges. You will want to leave most of the pieces in their respective bags. The names of the bag will match the parts in the video. Be careful not to over-tighten any screws throughout this build. Pay attention that there are 2 different sizes of table legs. In the bag labeled sewing pull-out support pins, note that there are 2 different sizes. Your ultimate sewing box is put together by Fasten Link technology. Let's get started on the left box build. Place 16 bolts in the top of the base as shown. Then hammer in with a metal hammer. Flip base over. Place 4 wheels onto bolts. If there is any bend in the wheels, please use hammer as shown to flatten. Tighten with 16 nuts using a 10mm wrench or socket wrench. Spin wheels around to check for any obstruction. Please check all holes for any obstruction. Place toe kick into wide opening in bottom of base. Using rubber mallet, tap toe kick into place until flush with the edges of base. Do not use a metal hammer. Place the base support pins in slots as shown. Lock the 2 fasten links into side 1 at bottom of panel. Tap until secure and flush. Now put the shelf in and lock it in with the rubber mallet by hitting it down until flush. Make sure hinge grooves are facing away from the base. Now secure the lid on in the same manner. Now place the base support pins on side 2. Attach side 2 to the left box, as shown. Pound each one down equally using the rubber mallet until it's in place and flush. Make sure the 3 hinges in the door hole indicated by the arrows are in place when putting on the door. If you have the Naughty Alder or the chocolate Naughty Alder door, make sure you pound where the green arrow is, not the red. Otherwise you may damage your door. When pounding the door, make sure that someone is holding the other side securely. Alternate sides with the rubber mallet. Roll onto its side. Now using the offset swing door hinges, please place them on side 1 of the left box. There should be 3. Use the 3 Euro screws, not screwing in all the way to secure in place. You will tighten later. Now you will attach the left box to the swing door using the same Euro screws and tighten all the way. Tighten all remaining screws but do not over tighten. Move the box to the side. Now let's start on the right box. Starting with the right box, you will use the 16 bolts on the top of the base, install the 4 wheels, and tighten with 16 nuts using a 10mm wrench or socket wrench. Do not over tighten the bolts. They should spin freely in a full 360-degree motion. Then I'll place the toe kick in place and tap in with the rubber mallet. Tap until flush. Place 2 base support pins inside 2 of the right box. Now attach side 2 to base, tapping with the rubber mallet until flush. Now attach the right box shelf 1. Tap until flush. Now attach the shelf 2 with the grooved edge facing away from the base. Tap until flush. Now place on the lid grooved end facing the base. Tap until flush. Place 2 base support pins into side 1. Now attach side 1 to the rest of the right box, pounding in one at a time. Now pound in the divider for the right box at the very top, as shown. One side at a time, slowly and don't force it. Now attach the door to the right box. Make sure the side with the doorknob hole is facing the side 1. Naughty Alder's hammer in the green arrow area. Someone hold the bottom as you pound in the top to secure the door till flush. Roll to its side and add the swing door to the side using the offset swing door hinges. Hinges are attached. Tighten all screws and move to the side. Now let's start on the center box. Now starting on the center box, you'll start with the base, putting in the 16 bolts into the top of the base using the hammer. Install 4 wheels onto bolts, tighten with 16 nuts using a 10mm wrench or socket wrench. Now place on the toe kick and tap into place until flush. Place the base support pins into the side 1 and the side 2 in the holes as shown. Attach side 1 to base and pound down until you hit the grooved edge on the side 1, as shown. You will do the same thing with shelf number 1, pounding down until you hit the groove on side 1. Place shelf 2 into place, make sure the grooved edges are facing away from the base. Pound down until flush with the grooved inset as shown. Make sure the grooves are facing down towards the base. Pound in until flush with the grooved inset. Now attach side 2, pounding down each of the shelves until they're all equal with the grooved inset. Now add the 2 dividers into the grooves between shelf 2 and the lid, pounding down until flush. Now place the back panel in the insets as shown and screw in with 13mm Euro screws. There should be 8 Euro screws per back panel. Now attach the other back panel using 8 Euro screws as well, the same size. With help, lift the center box onto its side and then onto its back. Now attach 10 center box hinges to the side panels of the center box using the 13mm Euro screws. Do not tighten all the way. Leave a little loose for wiggle room when you attach the side boxes. With help, lift up the center box and put it against the wall. Attach the left and the right box as shown using the Euro screws once again, and tighten all screws after you're done. Now on the fold-out table, you'll place the barrel locks in place, securing in place with Euro screws. You will use the table leg screws to secure the table leg into place. Do 2 first, lift up the leg, and then finish the other 2 screws. You will do the same process for the opposite fold-out table side. Both are identical. Make sure barrel locks are pulled in. Flip the table over, place on the folding table hinges using Euro screws. Now with 2 people, secure the fold-out table onto the right and left box as shown using Euro screws. Now fold up the table, lock the barrel locks in place, and fold down the table leg as shown. Attach the other one the same way and fold up. Now place the small sewing support pins in place as shown. For the rail system, open it up, turn it around, and you'll see a black lever. One way will be hard, the other way that's easier. Pull it and pull it apart into 2 pieces. Now take part number 2 and screw it in with 4 Euro screws. You may have to move the rail to find all 4 holes where they meet up with the pilot holes. Do the same with the second part 2 on the opposite side. Now attach part 1 to the pre-built sewing box table. You will use 4 screws with a built-in washer. Place the part 1 on both sides. Ensure it is oriented correctly. Now turn over the table and place the 2 table legs as shown. You will use the table leg screws as before to put 2 in this side and then lift up the leg to put in the remaining 2. Do the same for the other leg. Make sure the table legs are folded down before installing the table. Now line up the rails with 2 people before pushing in. When pushing in for the first time, you may have to wiggle it a little bit in order to get it to pull out smoothly. Now close the doors and turn the box around. Now place the folding table hinges in the grooves on the fold down table for the center box. You will use Euro screws. Now attach this to the back of the center box as shown. Place the rubber hat on the pivot bracket. Fold up the center folding table. Now place the pivot bracket in the groove as shown. Pull the table back to hold it in place. Attach with the screws as shown. Do the same to the other side. Pull the table up, put in place, and place the large sewing support pin in place. You're almost there. Open up your box and bring down the tables as shown. Use 4 plastic shelf pins for each shelf. You may have to wiggle them a little bit to get them in place. They should be very secure. With the finished side of the shelf facing out, put in the shelves at an angle and pop into place. You can use our suggested shelving or use any vertical adjustable shelving configuration. In the left box swing door, place 4 acrylic guards using the pilot holes and washered screws. 1 acrylic guard will go in the right box swing door as well. Don't over tighten so you can pull acrylic guard up into place. Screw in the hooks by hand as shown. Use the screw coming with the doorknob to put into place. You may need 2 people. For the adjustable shelf, place 4 metal pins in and then place the shelf at whatever desired height you'd like for underneath your table storage. Make sure you have 6 rubber bumpers placed on your crown in the specified spots. First, screw in your light kit and cover with the little rubber covers provided. Use 2 people to place your crown on top of your ultimate sewing box. Line up the pilot holes and screw into place. Notice how the crown lifts or presses down when you use the back and front screws. You may have to adjust the tightness of this later. Open your doors a few times to see if there's any rubbing between the crown and the doors. If there's no rubbing, you're good. If not, please adjust by loosening or tightening the screws on top. Attach the transformer on the back of your sewing box using the double stick tape. Connect the cords, plug in your workbox, and you're ready to craft with your new ultimate sewing box. A quick guide to opening and closing your ultimate sewing box. After opening up the trifold system, please slide out the main table, holding the back table so it doesn't fall. Next, pull down the legs, locking them into place. Fold down the wings and turn on the backlight. Pull up the side table legs, locking them into place, and then unlatch, bringing the side tables down. When you put them back up, make sure you do the latch first and then pull the table leg down. If you pull down your side tables first, the wings won't close all the way. Just pull down the table after the wings are already down. Do not try to force it. Now it's time to enjoy your ultimate sewing box.